Miffy and Melanie were playing together in Miffy's garden, throwing a colourful ball back and forth. Melanie threw the ball high into the air, and Miffy couldn't see where the ball landed. As she looked for the ball behind a tree, she discovered something else. It was an egg, a blue egg. "How lovely," said Miffy. She forgot all about her lost ball and looked with wonder at the little blue egg. "What do you think is inside it, Melanie?" she said. Just then Poppy Pig came by. "I see you have a blue egg," said Poppy. "Do you think you get blue carrots from blue eggs?" "I don't think so. Carrots don't come from eggs." Melanie said, "My granny says that blue eggs have blue socks inside of them." "I don't think so. You buy socks in a shop. Eggs come from birds. There must be a bird's nest in one of these trees." Melanie looked up and saw a bird's nest with a big red bird sitting in it. Miffy wondered, can a blue egg come from a red bird? Poppy said, "I'm pink and my mother and father are also pink." Melanie said, "I'm brown and my mother and father are brown too." Miffy said, "Maybe with eggs it's different. We know that yellow chicks come out of white or brown eggs." Poppy Pig lifted Miffy high enough so that she could put the blue egg back in the nest and under the red bird. The mother bird nestled over the blue egg and sang a happy song. Poppy found the lost ball. They all had great fun playing with the ball together. They laughed a lot. Suddenly, their laughter was joined by another sound. It was the cheeping of a baby bird. There it was, a tiny red bird in the nest. Miffy realised that a colour on the outside doesn't tell you what's inside. "I knew all the time that carrots don't come from eggs, Miffy," said Poppy Pig. "I was just making a joke about the blue carrots." "Me too," said Melanie. "Of course I know that socks don't come from eggs." "Now we know that red birds can come from blue eggs," said Miffy. "How wonderful!" Miffy loved to play in the snow. She loved to ride her sledge down the snowy hills. She loved to slide over the snow on her skis. She loved to lie in the snow and move her arms to make snow angels. What she liked best of all was to make big snow bunnies. It was a hard job, and she needed help to make them. Who do you think came along to help her? It was Snuffy the dog. Snuffy loved to run and jump in the snow, And when she saw Miffy trying so hard to push and roll a big snowball, she ran up and helped her. They pushed and pushed together. As the snowball rolled along, it picked up more and more snow. It got bigger and bigger. "That's big enough for the snow bunny's body," said Miffy. "Now we can roll a smaller snowball for the snow bunny's head." Miffy made a little snowball with her hands. Snuffy was able to push it along with her nose. But when it got bigger, Miffy joined in the pushing until it was big enough to be the snow bunny's head. "Now we must put it on top of the big snowball," said Miffy. No matter how they tried, they could not lift the heavy snowball. Just then, Miffy's friend Boris Bear arrived. "Hello, Miffy," said Boris. "What are you doing?" "We're trying to make a giant snow bunny," said Miffy, "but its head is too heavy and we can't lift it." "I have an idea, Miffy," said Boris. "I was taking these planks to my workshop, but we can use them to make a ramp to the top of the big snowball." Boris placed the planks against the snow bunny's body. The planks made a perfect ramp right to the top of it. Now they could roll the smaller snowball up the ramp. It was still hard work, but it was not so hard as lifting it would be. There it was! At last! The snow bunny's head was resting right on top of its body. Then Miffy went to find 2 sticks to make the ears. She stuck the 2 sticks into the top of the head. "They don't look like bunny's ears," said Miffy. She had an idea. She packed snow firmly around 1 stick. She packed more snow around the other stick. 2 perfect bunny ears. Snuffy ran off over the snow and returned with 2 rubber balls she often played with. Miffy laughed. She pushed the balls into the snow bunny's head. "Now he has eyes," said Miffy. "He can see what a wonderful job we did. It was all with your help, Snuffy and Boris. You're such clever friends." Finally, Miffy added a carrot to make the snow bunny's nose. Now the snow bunny was complete. One morning, Miffy looked out of her window. What did she see? A beautiful kite was flying above her house. Miffy looked down the kite string to see who was flying it. Far away, at the other end, Miffy could see Poppy Pig's niece, Grunty. She seemed to be having a lot of fun. Miffy climbed onto her scooter and rode as fast as she could to Poppy Pig's house. "Good morning, Grunty. Where did you get that beautiful kite? I would like to have one too. It would be such fun. Boris Bear made it for me as a birthday present. Boris is so clever. He can make almost anything. Would you like to hold the string, Miffy, so you can see what fun it is to make the kite fly?" Miffy took hold of the string and flew the kite. She had so much fun that she could hardly wait to have a kite of her own. "Thank you, Grunty," said Miffy. "I will go and ask Boris if he will make me a kite." Off Miffy went, riding her scooter through the forest as fast as she could. When Miffy got to Boris Bear's house, she asked him if he would make her a kite. "Yes, Miffy. I'm happy to make you a kite, but as it's not your birthday, you must help me." But I don't know how to make a kite. Don't worry, Miffy. I'll show you how. We'll build the kite together, step by step. Firstly, Boris took 2 thin pieces of wood, one long and one short. He placed the short piece across the long piece and then held them while Miffy tied them together with a piece of string. Then Boris tied a longer piece of string all around the 4 ends of the wooden pieces. The frame of the kite was ready. Boris took a piece of bright red paper, cut in the shape of the frame. Now we must fold the paper over the cords and glue it, so that it will stay fastened onto the frame. Then the kite must also have a tail. Miffy took some strips of coloured cloth and tied them along another cord. She attached it to the bottom of the kite. It looked beautiful. Now we only have to attach a long piece of string. Then we can go out and fly the kite. Miffy held the string tightly and Boris held up the kite so that it could catch the wind. The kite went up and up. It danced in the sky. It was beautiful. Suddenly, it dived downward, straight into a tree. Miffy pulled and pulled on the cord, but the kite was stuck. "How shall we get the kite out of the tree?" said Miffy. She was very sad. Boris was already climbing the tree. He freed the kite and let it fall to the ground. "The forest is not a good place to fly a kite, Miffy. There are too many trees." "I'll take the kite to my house," said Miffy. "There are not as many trees there." "Thank you so much, Boris, for this beautiful kite." Miffy took the kite home on her scooter. She had such a wonderful time flying her new kite. There were 2 lovely kites in the air. One belonged to Grunty and one belonged to Miffy. One afternoon, Miffy and Melanie were playing in Miffy's garden. "I will pretend to be a princess," said Miffy, "and you can pretend to be the queen, Melanie." "That will be fun," said Melanie. It was good fun. Princess Miffy and the good Queen Melanie had a lovely afternoon. "Melanie! Miffy!" called Mother Bunny out of the window. "Come in now. It's time to go to bed." Soon Miffy and Melanie were tucked into their beds. "Would you girls like me to read you a bedtime story?" said Miffy's mother. "Oh, yes! Please read us a story," said Miffy and Melanie. "Here is a nice story about a princess and a queen. Would you like to hear it?" asked Miffy's mother. Miffy and Melanie laughed. They thought it was funny that Miffy's mother had found a story that was just the same as the one they had played in the garden. It was a wonderful story, and both little girls listened with wide eyes to every word. When she finished reading the story, Mother Bunny turned out the lights and said, "Sleep well, little ones. Tomorrow is another day." When it was dark, Melanie whispered to Miffy, "That was a wonderful story. Wouldn't it be good if we could read another one?" Miffy turned on her bedside lamp. She took another book from her shelf. "Can you read it, Melanie?" asked Miffy. "Girls, girls, you're supposed to be sleeping," Mother Bunny said. When the lights were out again, Melanie whispered very softly to Miffy. "I can't read yet, Miffy. I wish I could." "Me too," whispered Miffy. Soon the little girls fell asleep. and before they knew it, it was morning. Wake up! Wake up, Melanie and Miffy. It's time to get up and go to school. At school, the teacher asked the class, "Do you like stories, children? Would you like to be able to read them yourselves?" Miffy and Melanie looked at each other. "That's just what we would like," whispered Miffy to Melanie. All that day, the children began to learn how to read letters and words. It was very exciting. At the end of the afternoon, the teacher said, "I have a nice storybook here. Who would like to read a few words from it?" Miffy and Melanie looked at each other again. They were so surprised to see that it was the very same book Miffy's mother had read to them. Both girls raised their hands. The teacher picked Miffy and handed her the book. Miffy started to read. "Once upon a time, there was a lovely princess." The teacher was surprised that Miffy read so well. "You've learnt to read very quickly, Miffy," she said. "I know this story by heart." One day, when it was too rainy to go outside, Miffy's mother said, "This is a good day to paint your room, Miffy. It hasn't been painted in a very long time." "What a good idea," said Miffy. "Can I help?" "Yes," said Father Bunny. "But first we must take everything out of your room." Miffy said, "I have lots of pictures on the wall. I have my cupboard and my bed and my shelf. Can't we just paint around them?" "That won't do at all," said Miffy's mother. "We must take everything out of the room so we can paint the walls evenly." "Very well," said Miffy. "I will help. First, I will take all of my pictures off the wall." "But I can't move my bed, or the cupboard, or the shelf." "Your mother and I will move the heavy things, Miffy. You can think of what colour you would like to paint your room. I have lots of different coloured paints in my workshop." So while her mother and father were carrying everything out of her room, Miffy began to think about what colour she would like her room to be. "If it were blue, it might seem like it's always night time," she said. "If it were red, it might look too hot. If it were green, it might look like my room was outside in the garden. If it were white, it would be the same colour as me, and I might feel lost inside it." Miffy looked out of her window and noticed a bright yellow tulip. "If my room were yellow like that tulip, it would be sunny and bright. I would like my room to be yellow," said Miffy finally. Father Bunny said, "I have some lovely yellow paint. I will paint the high parts of the wall, Miffy, and you can paint the low parts. You will be able to learn how to paint." Mother said, "First you must put on an apron, Miffy. It would be a pity to get paint on your lovely dress." So Miffy put on an apron, and her father very carefully mixed the bright yellow paint. He took a big brush and he gave Miffy a small brush. Then they set to work. "Miffy," said Father Bunny, "try to paint up and down in the same direction. Like this." Miffy learnt very quickly. Soon the room was a lovely, happy yellow colour. And Miffy's things were soon back in their place. Miffy felt happy too. Her room felt fresh, bright and clean. "It's a nice feeling," she said, "to have a freshly painted room, and that I helped to do it."